Are you sure you're writing your essays with your grammar accurately? Your verbs and nouns, subjects, they agree? Are you sure? Do you know how to correct it? Do you know how to improve it? That's why I'm here. Today, Tea with Me presents Verb Agreement. So let's roll. And here we are, another episode of Tea with Me, and I'm here to review with you, to rethink verb agreement in English. But before we get to that, don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends that needs a boost, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our videos. And of course, let's get to the most important part. What is agreement, by the way? Agreement, it's when I am aligning. I am making an alignment between the verb and the subject. I am providing knowledge, information that those two things are connected. So pay attention here. The dog eats all the meat in the bowl. The dog, my subject, eats my verb. These two things need to be in constant communication, singular and plural. In English, we don't worry about feminine and masculine as we do in French and Italian, for example, but we agree subject with verb. And that's important because there is no sentence without a subject in English. If you missed the video, that reviews that show you guys this idea that in English we don't have a sentence without a subject. I am linking the video here so you can watch it again. Yes? One cat is sitting on the couch. One cat is singular as well. Two birds are birds, plural, the verb in the plural as well. So that's the concept. That's the idea of alignment. That's the idea of agreement. My verb and my subject, they communicate pretty well with each other. But that's something pretty simple, right? Yes. There are some things that we have to consider and pay attention. Some things that may come as problems in disguise. Yes? For example, when we are using prepositional phrases, what is a prepositional phrase first of all? A prepositional phrase is a structure that is going to divide my subject from my verb. And this structure is complementing the idea of the subject, but it's not the subject. It's just extra information added, and this extra information starts with a preposition. So, a prepositional phrase. Take a look. The key to the doors is on the left. The key is on the left. To the door is extra information that I am adding here. And it's a prepositional phrase that relates to the subject key. So doors, plural form, is not the subject. Forget that concept, that misconcept that sometimes you guys may have, that subject and verb, they come close to each other. They come in front of each other. As you can see here, they are not close. They are not in front of. They are not followed one by the other. They are separated by a prepositional phrase. And some of the things that advanced writers, that C1 and C2 writers of the language cannot misguide themselves into writing is the verb disagreeing with the subject because it agrees with the prepositional phrase. A second example, the climb to the hill is extremely hard. The climb is extremely hard. The interrogation conducted by three police officers has lasted 3 hours. The interrogation has lasted 3 hours. So, when I have my subject and my verb separated by a prepositional phrase, I need to pay close attention to verb agreement. How do I know if I have a prepositional phrase or not? Well, if you remove the prepositional phrase of your sentence, your sentences still make sense, as you have seen in these examples. Prepositional phrases, they provide extra information. They are giving more details about the subject. Something else that we may have to pay attention to is, take a look at this, the president, surrounded by Secret Service agents, are trying to make his way to the podium. Exactly what I said before. It's very common to think that the subject and the verb are close to each other. So agents are, because it's plural. No, no, no. The buildings destroyed during the fire is. Fire is because fire is singular. Yes? No, because here I'm talking about the buildings. The buildings are being rebuilt at the taxpayer's expense. Pay attention to that. It's what is making you, it's what leads you to a C1, C2 level of language, because you understand what is essential information, what is extra information, what is subject, and what is not. Again, something that sometimes always leads you guys to a misconception is expressions of quantity. All of the people, most of the animals, some of my students, half of the food. So, how do I make agreement with this? What do I do here? Well, it's in simple terms very easily, because what I have is that the verb here agrees with the object. Half of the story was. All of the books were. Most of the information uncountable noun, so always singular form, singular verb. Most of the information was. So when I use all of, most of, some of, and half of, my verb agrees with the object. And here, in these examples, story, books, and information are the subjects that are going to require a verb to agree with them. And some special words that always misguide when talking and writing. What do I do when my subject is everyone or somebody? What do I do with that? Words like anybody, anyone, anything, everybody, everyone, everything. Nobody, no one, nothing. Somebody, someone, something. Each of the students, very many, and other compound nouns that I can create. What do I do? Well, they are always singular. They are always considered third person singular. So the verb follows the third person singular form. Everybody is. Somebody admires. Each of the doctors needs. So these structures, these words, always think of them as he or she, for example, and then you are not going to make any mistakes. But what do I do? How do I practice this? Something that you guys have to work with, something that you guys need to start understanding is how to self-correct. What do I do to self-correct myself? How do I take a look at that? After you have written your essay, your presentation, or whatever document it is that you are writing, take a time to watch closely your grammar structures. And one of the things that you have to pay attention to is exactly this verb agreement. What is the subject and the verb? Because there is no sentence in English without a subject and the verb. So next time you are writing your essay, you have to stop in each paragraph and pay close attention to these details, these informations. And if you want a checklist, a complete checklist for self-correction of your essay, write on the comments below that I'm going to contact you and I'm going to send you a complete checklist so you learn how to self-correct, how to take a closer look at your grammar mistakes in your essay, presentations, or anything that you are writing in English, okay? So we have just seen how to agree verbs and subjects and what to do when I have prepositional phrases and when I have some words that represent expressions of quantity and determined or undetermined subjects, just like somebody, anybody, or nobody. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel because every Wednesday, 7 a.m., I'm here to present you with new and advanced grammar lessons. I see you guys next week.